The year was 329 BCE. Alexander the Great, the young Macedonian king who had already conquered the mighty Persian Empire, turned his gaze towards the vast and untamed lands of Central Asia. His campaign here wasn't just a march of conquest, it was a testament to his unparalleled military genius. Today, we explore two pivotal moments, the Battle of the Jaxartes and the Siege of the Sogdian Rock. Born in 356 BCE in Pella, the ancient capital of Macedonia, Alexander was the son of King Philip II and Queen Olympias. Tutored by the philosopher Aristotle, Alexander was educated in philosophy, science, and military tactics. From a young age, he demonstrated exceptional leadership and military skills, famously taming the horse Bucephalus. By the age of 20, he had already proven himself in battle, notably at the Battle of Chaeronea. After his father's assassination, Alexander ascended to the throne and swiftly moved to consolidate his power, embarking on his grand campaign against the Persian Empire. His victories at battles such as Issus and Gaugamela solidified his reputation as one of history's greatest military commanders. With the Persian Empire under his control, Alexander set his sights on the vast and challenging terrain of Central Asia. His campaign here wasn't just a march of conquest, it was a testament to his unparalleled military genius. Today we explore two pivotal moments, the Battle of the Jaxartes and the Siege of the Sogdian Rock. Central Asia was a stark departure from the lush cities of Persia. This was a land of nomadic warriors, endless steppes and towering fortresses perched on impossible cliffs. For Alexander it was a challenge unlike any other. The Scythians, fierce mounted archers, roamed these lands. Masters of hit-and-run tactics, they were the antithesis of the traditional armies Alexander had faced. The geography of Central Asia is vast and varied, from the arid deserts to the lush river valleys. The nomadic tribes, such as the Scythians and Sarmatians, were masters of their environment, living in harmony with the land. These tribes controlled the ancient trade routes, including parts of the Silk Road, which were vital for commerce and cultural exchange. The diverse landscapes of Central Asia presented both opportunities and challenges for Alexander's campaign. His army had to adapt to the harsh conditions, navigating through deserts, mountains, and steppes. The battles fought in this region were unlike any Alexander had encountered before, requiring new strategies and tactics. Alexander's genius as a military strategist was put to the test as he faced the formidable nomadic tribes of Central Asia. Despite the challenges, Alexander's determination and strategic brilliance led to significant victories, cementing his legacy as one of history's greatest conquerors. Alexander's first major challenge came at the Jaxartes River, modern-day Sirdaria. Here, the Scythians tested his mettle. The Scythians, known for their exceptional horsemanship and archery, posed a significant threat to Alexander's campaign. They employed hit-and-run tactics, using their mobility to their advantage. Alexander, understanding the need to counter these tactics, devised a plan to lure the Scythians into a decisive battle. He ordered his troops to construct a bridge across the river, a move that would force the Scythians to engage. As the bridge neared completion, the Scythians launched a fierce attack, hoping to destroy it and prevent Alexander's crossing. However, Alexander had anticipated this, and had his best troops ready to defend the construction. The Macedonian phalanx, with its disciplined and heavily armed soldiers, held the line against the Scythian assault. Meanwhile, Alexander led a cavalry charge across the river, catching the Scythians off guard. The battle raged on the banks of the Jaxartes, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. Alexander's strategic brilliance and the discipline of his troops eventually turned the tide in his favor. The Scythians, unable to withstand the combined might of the Macedonian infantry and cavalry, began to retreat. Alexander pursued them relentlessly, ensuring that they could not regroup and counterattack. The Battle of the Jaxartes was a significant victory for Alexander, showcasing his ability to adapt to different forms of warfare, and his determination to conquer even the most formidable foes. This victory not only secured his position in Central Asia but also sent a clear message to other potential adversaries about the might of Alexander's army. The Scythians relied on their speed and archery, avoiding direct confrontation. Their horse archers would circle the enemy, releasing volleys of arrows, and then retreat before any counterattack could be mounted. But Alexander was no ordinary commander. Realizing their hit-and-run tactics, he adapted swiftly. He baited the Scythians into attacking his infantry, who were positioned in a crescent formation. As the Scythians closed in, they found themselves drawn into a trap. Alexander unleashed his cavalry in a devastating flanking maneuver. The cavalry struck the Scythians from the sides, causing chaos and confusion. Meanwhile, his infantry advanced, pressing the attack and preventing any escape. The result? A decisive victory that demonstrated Alexander's ability to outthink even the most elusive foes. This battle showcased not only his tactical genius but also his ability to inspire and lead his men to victory. It was a testament to his strategic foresight and the disciplined execution of his plans. With this victory, Alexander continued his relentless march through Central Asia, leaving a legacy of unmatched military prowess. If the Jaxartes showcased Alexander's battlefield brilliance, the siege of the Sogdian Rock highlighted his ingenuity and audacity. "You will need men with wings to take this fortress," the defenders jeered. Challenge accepted. Alexander called for volunteers among his soldiers, the bravest and most skilled climbers. Equipped with tent pegs and ropes, they scaled the unscalable under the cover of darkness. The next morning, the defenders awoke to a shocking sight. Macedonian soldiers standing atop the fortress, having scaled what they believed was an impregnable barrier. Overwhelmed, they surrendered without a fight. The Sogdian Rock was a natural fortress, a steep and rugged cliff that seemed impossible to conquer. Alexander's men trained rigorously, practicing their climbing skills and preparing for the daunting task ahead. They gathered all necessary supplies, ensuring they had enough ropes, pegs, and other equipment for the climb. The climb was treacherous, but the soldiers were determined, moving in formation and supporting each other. As they reached the top, the defenders were taken by surprise, unable to believe their eyes. Alexander's leadership and the bravery of his men turned the impossible into reality, securing a decisive victory. The defenders, overwhelmed and outmatched, had no choice but to surrender, marking another triumph for Alexander the Great. But Alexander's Central Asian campaign wasn't just about battles. It was a transformative period that went beyond mere military conquests. Alexander established numerous cities, many of which became thriving centers of cultural exchange. He encouraged intermarriages between his soldiers and local women, fostering a blend of Greek and Central Asian traditions. This fusion was evident in the architecture, art, and daily life of these new cities. His actions laid the groundwork for a cultural exchange that shaped the region for centuries. The cities he founded became melting pots of ideas, where Greek philosophy, science, and governance mingled with local traditions and knowledge. This cultural synthesis had a profound impact, influencing the development of the Silk Road and the spread of Hellenistic culture across Asia. The legacy of Alexander's campaign is still visible today, in the cultural and historical landscapes of Central Asia. His vision of a united world, where diverse cultures could coexist and enrich each other, remains a powerful testament to the enduring power of cultural exchange. The campaigns in Central Asia were more than just a test of military might. They were a testament to Alexander's adaptability, his courage, and his vision of uniting disparate worlds under one banner. His exploits at the Jaxartes and the Sogdian Rock remain etched in history as masterclasses in strategy and determination. Subscribe for more epic tales of Alexander the Great and his legendary conquests. Gap 2S. Before we close, let's delve into some fascinating facts about Alexander the Great that shaped his legendary status. Gap 1S. Alexander's intellectual prowess was nurtured by none other than Aristotle, one of history's greatest philosophers. Gap 1S. Under Aristotle's tutelage, Alexander developed a keen interest in philosophy, science, medicine, and literature, which would later influence his approach to leadership and governance. Gap 1S. His relationship with his generals was a unique blend of camaraderie and respect. Gap 1S. Figures like Hephaestion, Ptolemy, and Seleucus were not just his military confidants but also his closest friends. Gap 1S. This bond was crucial in maintaining the morale and cohesion of his army during the grueling campaigns. Gap 1S. Alexander's vision extended beyond mere conquest. Gap 1S. He aspired to create a world where diverse cultures could coexist under a single empire. Gap 1S. This vision of a united world was revolutionary for its time and demonstrated his forward-thinking approach to empire building. Gap 1s. These elements of his life paint a fuller picture of Alexander not just as a conqueror, but as a visionary leader who sought to blend the best of the East and West. Gap 2s. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Alexander the Great's life and conquests. Gap 1s. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more historical insights. Gap 2s. As we wrap up our exploration of Alexander the Great's incredible journey, let's take a moment to appreciate the immense logistical efforts behind his campaigns. Gap 1s. Conquering vast territories wasn't just about winning battles, it required meticulous planning and coordination. Gap 1s. One of the crucial aspects of Alexander's success was his ability to maintain effective supply lines. Gap 1s. His army often traversed harsh and hostile landscapes, making it essential to ensure a steady flow of food, water, and equipment. Gap 1s. Alexander's engineers played a pivotal role in this regard. Gap 1s. They constructed roads, bridges, and fortifications, enabling the army to move swiftly and efficiently. Gap 1s. These engineering feats were not just about military advantage, they also facilitated trade and communication across the empire. Gap 1s. Maintaining a large and diverse army in unfamiliar and often hostile territories posed significant challenges. Gap 1s. Alexander's leadership and strategic acumen were crucial in keeping the morale high and the troops disciplined. Gap 1s. He understood the importance of adaptability and often employed innovative tactics to overcome logistical hurdles. Gap 1s. Whether it was sourcing supplies locally or establishing temporary bases, Alexander's logistical strategies were a testament to his comprehensive approach to warfare. Gap 1s. These behind-the-scenes efforts were as vital to his success as his battlefield prowess. Gap 2s. By understanding the logistics of Alexander's campaigns, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity and scale of his conquests. Gap 1s. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Alexander the Great's life and achievements. Gap 1s. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more historical insights. Gap 2s. As we conclude our deep dive into the life and conquests of Alexander the Great, it's essential to consider the aftermath of his extraordinary campaigns. Gap 1s. After Alexander's untimely death in 323 BCE, his vast empire faced a monumental challenge: the struggle for control. Gap 1s. With no clear successor, his generals, known as the Diadochi, divided the empire among themselves, leading to a series of conflicts known as the Wars of the Successors. Gap 1s. Ptolemy took control of Egypt, establishing a dynasty that would last for nearly 3 centuries. Gap 1s. Seleucus claimed the eastern territories, founding the Seleucid Empire. Gap 1s. While Antigonus and his descendants ruled over Macedonia and Greece. Gap 1s. This fragmentation, while chaotic, also led to the fusion of Greek and local cultures, a phenomenon known as Hellenization. Gap 1s. The spread of Greek language, art, and ideas profoundly influenced the regions Alexander had conquered, from the Mediterranean to the fringes of India. Gap 1s. Cities founded by Alexander, like Alexandria in Egypt, became vibrant centers of learning and culture, attracting scholars, artists, and traders from across the known world. Gap 1s. The legacy of Alexander's conquests also had significant political ramifications. Gap 1s. The new Hellenistic kingdoms often served as a bridge between East and West, fostering trade and diplomatic relations. Gap 1s. This interconnectedness laid the groundwork for future empires, including Rome, which would later adopt and adapt many aspects of Greek culture. Gap 1s. While the immediate aftermath of Alexander's death was marked by turmoil, the long-term impact of his campaigns was a more interconnected and culturally rich world. Gap 1s. The fusion of cultures and ideas that emerged from his conquests continues to resonate through history. Gap 2s. Reflecting on the aftermath of Alexander's conquests allows us to appreciate not just the military genius of the man, but also the enduring legacy he left behind. Gap 1s. Thank you for traveling with us through the annals of history. Gap 1s. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating historical narratives.